She didn't want me to turn out like my biological mommy, you know. She didn't want life to be difficult for me and for me to fall flat on my face. That's why my auntie always said, don't make your own mistakes. Look at what someone else is doing, learn from their mistakes. You don't need to do what they are doing so that you can learn from the mistakes. Look at them, see what's happening. Look at them, when they make the mistakes, see what happens. Then that's how I can also learn.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inspired Minds. Today's guest I'm extremely excited about, guys. Please help me welcome Megan Jacobson.
Hi.
Hello Megan, how are you?
Good morning, you.
Thank you.
It's okay.
So share with everybody who you are and what do you do?
My name is Megan Jacobson. I'm 23 and I'm a mom to a 1-year-old. I work for an organization called High Spirits Skills Training Center for the Intellectual Challenge. It's a mouthful. I'm a facilitator and we work with special needs kids, you know. We teach them crafts because they aren't able to go and study or get a good job because you need to have 7 degrees. So then we equip them with these skills so that they can start their own business and that they can sort of earn a bit of income. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
So guys, before we continue, for those people out there watching this episode, especially females, please take the time to reflect after watching Megan's story. And beautiful Megan, where do we start?
Goes back a couple of years. Okay, so it's gonna start at the age of 5.
Okay.
We were living on the streets, me and my mom and her boyfriend at the time. We were beggars. But we were living in the bush, and then there was at the BP garage in Chris. we would sit there, and you know, people would pass us by and whatever. And then one day a lady passed me by. Andrea, now my auntie. I would always compliment her. Whatever she wore, she had a bag to match it, and I was so like in awe of her. And I'd be like, hello, Andrea, you know, I'd be like, and she would greet me every time. And then I sort of got to know the family like that, and then she'd let me come and have a sleepover or watch a movie, or you know, eventually I then sort of became her child. And then, but at the time, my mom was very unstable. She was an alcoholic, you know, she's doing drugs. So she was very unstable, and there was a time when she didn't know where I was, and she was looking in the area. She was basically out of her mind, and she was looking in the area, and she's like, where's Megan? And she was shouting whatever. Then she walked past the house, and then my mom, who raised me, Eva, she said, your daughter's inside, because if my mommy wasn't able to find me, she was going to go to prison, because you know, she lost the child, she doesn't know where the child was. And then ever since then, I've basically been involved with the Daniels family. And they basically my safe haven. And then while I was in their care, I visited my mom on my 6th birthday. Which we just down the road, there was a bush where we were currently living at the time. And then my mommy's then boyfriend went for a walk with me, and then around the bush he sort of had his way with me. He raped me. And then I wanted to shout, and he's like, no, if you do that, I'm gonna kill your mommy. I was 6 years old. I was like, what child knows what's happening? Anyway, so then things happened from then. Eventually the family found out, and then I had to go to court because I had to explain what happened, you know, child court. And I had to go to the doctors, which I absolutely hated, because I had to go for checkups and things like that. And then I was taken from their care, because I wasn't legally theirs. I wasn't legally the Daniels families. So I wasn't legally adopted, they were one of my foster parents. So then I went to a home in Wynberg, It was called Tenterden Place of Safety. Well, no longer exists now, but I wish it does because it was such an amazing place. And then I only stayed there for a year. Then after that, I went to another home in Athlone called Lily Bloom. I stayed there for 3 years. It was a bit of a nightmare. Girls are very nasty. It was very tough because I felt very unwanted and unloved, and I used to question, I was like, God, why did this happen to me? Like, did I do something to deserve this? Or I just didn't understand. I couldn't really grasp. I went for counseling, and you know, they tried to sort of help me out in the ways they can, but I think the thing that I was most yearning was the affection of my mommy, because I didn't get that protection from her, that safety, that love that I needed as a child from her. And then I was placed back with the Daniels family when I was in grade 5. I think I was about 12. Yeah, 12 I guess. And then I moved back to Strandfontein.
It's amazing, it's amazing how you remember everything.
I know, I thought that I would have forgotten about it, but you know, it's a big part of my life. It's not the easiest part of my life, but it's a part of my life that I don't want to forget. Because it's where I came from and where I am now. I can reflect. And then I was living with the Daniels family Strandfontein for basically my entire life. I still live there now. And they were, you know, I finally had a place where I was safe. That was, you know, that people that cared for me, that genuinely loved me and wanted the best for me. Trust me, I was not the easiest child. Very problematic. I would give my mommy hell. I just think that I didn't know how to express myself. My mommy was, she was the disciplinarian. My daddy was the soft one, and I would go to him and, you know, love him. And I tried with my mommy, but it was different. I didn't know how. But she was the one that used to discipline me. She used to give me hiding. She used to, you know, and the way my mommy was, she used to make sure I have everything that I need.
And support and everything.
Yes, and you know, she would buy me gifts and things like that. And sometimes I was like, I don't want this. I just want you to love me. But she did love me. It's just that at the time I didn't understand why she found it so difficult to say, I love you. But that was just my mommy. She was just like that. She would make sure that I had shoes on my feet, you know, clothes on my body. I had a plate of food to eat like every day. You know, she would make sure that everything was in order, that I was sorted when it comes to that. Sure that everything was in order, that I was sorted when it comes to that. But not knowing that I needed to be supported emotionally, that I needed that love and affection and that. I needed to be told, Megan, I love you. You know, I needed that hug now and then.
That's so important. That's so important.
It's easy, especially as a child, you know, you need that. But not saying that I lacked it. I didn't lack it because where I lacked it, I might have lacked it from my mommy, I might have got it from my aunties or my daddy, you know? And I think the reason why I was so drawn to my daddy, or I was so close, is because I never had that, you know, that male support, you know, because he loved me like I was his own child. And it was basically unconditional love. And I was very problematic. Even when there was a point where I had to go into the social workers, where my mommy would let the school know that I was in deep trouble. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, how dare she come to my school? And you know, I was like, for me, school was like my safe haven. I used to dread going home. I was like, yes, this was when people went home, and I'm gonna get scolded for what now?
Yeah.
But so most of the majority of the time it was my fault. I asked for it. But
The choices, right?
yeah, the choices that I made and the decisions just definitely my mom. But you know, she was so hard on me because she wanted the best for me. She didn't want me to turn out like my biological mommy, you know. She didn't want life to be difficult for me and for me to fall flat on my face. That's why my auntie always said, don't make your own mistakes. Look at what someone else is doing, learn from their mistakes. You don't need to do what they are doing so that you can learn from the mistakes. look at them, see what's happening, look at them, when they make the mistake, see what happens. Then that's how you can also learn. I was
That's
like,
one of the best ways.
I didn't know that. I thought she actually told me. I was like, no, I'm going to learn. And a couple times I hurt myself really badly, but you know. And then when she said that, you know, I thought about it and it sort of resonated, but also didn't. Like 1 year in, other year out. I used to have lots of family meetings where everybody sits around the table and they, you know, it was always difficult because, like I told my auntie Chantal, it felt like everybody was bashing me. Like it was me, and then it was everybody else, and then they giving their, and then not knowing that they came from a place of love. They were so hard on me because they did not want me to fail, you know. And it took me years after that to only realize it. It took me a very long time, but years after that to only realize that the intention was real. If they didn't love me, they wouldn't have taken the time to sit me down and to talk to me. They would have just been like, ah, no, whatever, she must do what she wants to, you know. And they would drill me like it was nothing. Like, you know, they would sit down with me and tell me, like, they would have meetings because they didn't want me to fail. They wanted the best for me. And now I can see it, but back then I was blinded by that. And it's only because they loved me, that they wanted, that they shouted at me and scolded me and things like that. And I was like, yo, why did it take me so many years later to understand that? But you know what I treasure the most is me and my mommy, we never got along very well. Like, we would always be butting heads, it would always be scolding, always be, you know. And at times, I wouldn't appreciate her, you know. And then my mommy fell ill the year 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And at that time, you know, our relationship was mended. Like, we got to spend time together. Like, when I was washing her, or, you know, she needed a massage or whatever, we spoke and we apologized to each other. And it was, I was like, why did it have to take for my mommy to fall ill for our relationship to be mended, you know? And when she was in hospital, I wrote a letter and I was like, I'm sorry for making life difficult. And then she said, don't go there. It's over, we've spoken about it, you know, I forgive you. And then my mommy said, I forgive you. I was like, yo. It was like, it was a weight lifted off my shoulder, man.
I can imagine.
I was like, yes, it's like, that woman, she's also had a fair share in life, but she's one of the most powerful, driven, strong women I've ever met in my life. Like, she wouldn't let things get her down. She would turn to God if it felt like the weight was on her shoulder, the world was on her shoulder. Oh my gosh, she would pray and, you know, she'd just go to her room. And I don't know how she dealt with me. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to deal with me. You know, because I was very bad. Now I can say I was very bad. And then I was just like, no, mom is being ridiculous. But she really loved me to stick by me through all of the things that I put her through, you know. And she's really missed. She's a power woman, really, a woman of strength, is she? Really.
Yeah. And what role does your dad play in your life?
Oh my God, he's like my rock.
And what's he like? Yeah.
He is the joker. Highly inappropriate at times, all the time. But that's just how we know him. He is a person that, you know, when he steps into a room, there's no awkwardness. He would crack out a joke, and he would just make everybody laugh and just everybody feel very comfortable, man. He's so real. Like, it's just because, say for example, like, because the way our family knows him, he's a joker, he makes heavy situations light, you know. It's not to say that when there's other people, he won't be like that.
Oh.
He's the same wherever he goes, and not a word of a lie. Everybody in the area knows him and loves him. Mr. Daniels. He is basically the jack of all trades. That guy can make anything for you, yo. And you know, he doesn't say no. Sometimes I'm like, Dad, you need to say no to people. Like, he doesn't want to say no to people, you know. He's the type of person that will stop what he's doing in order to help someone else.
Sure.
He's got a good heart. I always told him, Daddy, I want to marry a man that's like you. A lot of people would say, no, I don't want to marry a man like my daddy, but I would. He is kind, he is sweet, the way he treats people is amazing.
And that says a lot about something.
It does. He is so amazing. He has helped me so much with Asher. Like, he didn't know how to hold Asher. He didn't want to hold Asher when he was a baby. And I just basically put Asher in his arms. And ever since then, he has, because Asher was a boy, man. So now I can teach Asher all these little things, And he just absolutely loves being a grandpa. He is an amazing husband, a father, a friend, a companion. I can write and rave about my daddy all the time. He is so amazing. But the most important thing for me, he is my safe haven. He is my shoulder to cry on. If I need advice, no matter how big, how small, if there's something that I did wrong, I know that I can go to him and say, Daddy, I did this. Daddy, I did that. And you know what? He won't shout at me, he'll be like, okay, now how are you gonna fix this? Or he would maybe be upset, and then he would maybe come back and he will talk about it. Like with my daddy, I can ask him anything, man. Like, he'll always make sure that I'm okay. Like, he'll be like, Megan, are you happy? Yes, why would you ask me something like that? Like, who asked the daughter, are you happy?
It's a powerful question.
It is. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to answer this. Then I say yes, like when I was much younger and you would ask me this question, I would just say this. It actually felt like I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with my situation. I just wasn't happy with where I was at. Because I was like, I feel drained with all the things that I went through, and I was like, why? And he tried his utmost best to make me happy. Whether it is to hold me, to hug me, and now I'm trying to do that in return for him, to just write him a little letter, put it on his cushion. And one day I did that.
Appreciate you.
Yes, and then he came to his room, and then he's like, he read it, and he came to me and he hugged me. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, you don't know how much I love you. I said, yes I do. You love me, Lord, so much. And he's so pure and genuine about it, man. The things that he is just so amazing. You need to meet my dad, seriously, man. He is so amazing. Like, he is understanding. He doesn't get angry very fast. He tries to, he was the tough guy and just hide it away a little bit, but then there are times, where he explodes or whatever.
Yeah. We're only human. We're all human. Right?
No, definitely. But he's a family man. He loves his family, right? Absolutely. And I'm just like, I just wish that I get a man that, will treat me well like my daddy does. My daddy treats me absolutely amazing. He spoils me all the time.
Yeah.
I used to love this when I was in high school, or in primary school. He used to do this as well. He used to leave sweets on my table. It might have not been a bag of sweets. It might have been just 1 or 2. And then I used to come and I said, oh, thank you so much for the sweets. And then my daddy found it so sweet. He's like, wow, you're making such a big fuss. It's sweet. But for me, it was the gesture. It was the thought behind it, Like, he was so sweet. He always has a sweet for me. Always. And then I try to return it in his, like, I try to do little things for him where I can, man. But everybody that comes across his path absolutely adores him. Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it, actually.
No, you need to. You will be smiling the entire time. He cracks jokes like it's nothing.
So his energy also, man, I think that's also important.
It is. His whole vibe is for someone else good, but obviously he's getting a little bit old, so he gets a little bit tired when he starts working. But you say this guy is still 45. The way he still wants to be active and maneuver and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be the best daughter to him as I possibly can. It's not easy because I do get a little bit frustrated at my daddy, And you know what I wouldn't say the cool thing about it is that he's very understanding. Like,
That's important.
when I'm not feeling great,
Yeah.
then I'd be a bit edgy with him, and I'm like, yes, sis, why did I do that? I'll think about it. Then I'll go to him and I'll be like, Daddy, I'm sorry. The reason why I responded to you that way, the reason I acted like that, is that I'm not feeling okay. I'm down today or whatever. And he's like, talk to me. And I can talk to him. And you know what? After that conversation, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
I feel so much better.
So very often, like, it's important to understand and to be understood also.
You know, definitely. Like there were times where I was like, oh cool, daddy's not feeling good. Can't, you know, just give him that
give
little
that
bit of
space,
break, you know. But do you know what? If my daddy is not there, I feel so lonely. I'm like, where is my daddy? Like, there are times where I come home and I expect him to be there. And I'm like, where's my daddy? And I would walk up and down the road to go to the shop. I was like, I need him. And then I just miss him. Like, his presence, you know, I dread the day that he's not going to be there. So I try to make every moment with him count. Even though when I'm days where I'm not feeling great, he is so amazing with Asher. There are days where there was a couple of days I wasn't feeling well. So he would let me sleep in mornings, and then he'll take Asher. And for a couple of hours, and he'll be in the garden with Asher to do little things with him, you know? And then it's like Asher doesn't know, doesn't do nothing. He's excited because he's with his pa. And then daddy comes and he's like, are you okay? Are you?
Sorry. This is the last one.
And then when he lets me sleep in, sometimes he would spoil me. He cooks us like on a Sunday. We bring it to my room and he'd be like, Megan, here's a cup of tea. I was like little gestures like that. He is so sweet. Like, I wouldn't trade my daddy for anybody else. Like, you know that I met my biological daddy not too long ago. And I was like, yo, now I'm based with two daddies. And you know, my daddy Andy, the one that raised me, he is so understanding. I felt like, oh, he'd be maybe jealous, would feel like, you know, his daughter's gonna be taken away. And he doesn't feel like that. He is happy that, you know, if he's gone, I still have another daddy, you know, another father figure in my life. And the way the two of them, they get on so well. They get on so well. And my daddy's like, no, you must go sleep over weekend and spend time with the other daddy and things like that.
Very understanding.
Very understanding. Yeah, he's just a gem. A gem, my daddy. I could date him all day about my daddy. And you know, my other siblings, my auntie, they would also agree. Like, their daddy is like, the things that they do for my daddy, like, is daddy okay? Is he, like, if he has a scratch on him, how did he get that? So the daddy never talk like that when they're very, nothing was happening to the daddy like that. It's, you know, the daddy's like, no, man, I'm fine. It's a sketch. I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't know where he got it. And then the daddy was thinking of himself, like, it's obviously getting to that stage where, you know, if he gets hurt, it's going to heal much longer. Take longer to heal. But he's wonderful. He's just absolutely amazing, really.
So, I know you mentioned in your story that you felt the same when you got pregnant and so forth and became a single mom.
Yes.
So how did you overcome this? Because I feel like a lot of females out there, you know,
Definitely.
they have a child and then they feel a certain way. So
No,
how did you feel?
Well, okay, in the beginning, my first thought when I found out that I was pregnant, my first thought was like, my daddy. He's going to be disappointed. He's going to, because he wanted a different path. He wanted me obviously to study, to get a good job, have my own place, get married, you know, like that. And when I felt pregnant, I felt like I felt so ashamed because it's so like, there's a stigma to being a single mom in today's life, you know. I envision myself as, I'm going to get married first, then have my family. But it just didn't work that way, you know. And just maybe it was just not meant to happen in that particular order for me. And I was depressed when I was pregnant. I was down. I was like, I felt like I can't do this. I was like, you need two parents to raise a child. I told myself, I'm not strong enough to raise a child by myself. And you know what? I got a gym for the family. They all sprang in, you know. Whether it is at the time when I was on my last with Asher, like, you know, when it was about to, like, my last month or so, blessings started flowing. But you know how it happened is I started changing my room around for Asher. Because I was like, no man, it's going to be winter. My bed can't be by the window, I'm everything newborn, and like things like that, man. And the minute I started preparing for Asher, blessings started flowing in. I didn't have to buy nappies. clothes, nothing. I got nappies, toiletries, blankets, clothes. I was the works. I was sorted out for like a good couple of months with him. I was just have to keep on buying nappies. And my daddy helped me out financially in the time being. And I felt ashamed because it's like people, when it's a single mom, they're like, yo, what happened? Did he just up and leave? It's like all these questions are flowing through people's minds, and some of them are very not to ask. And then there are others that are like, where's the daddy? You know? And I don't feel like it's your business. I don't feel like it's a story that needs to be shared. Because it's not, sometimes it's just that you parted ways, sometimes the daddy didn't want to be in the picture or things like that, you know? But it was difficult because I didn't have the daddy when I was, the daddy wasn't present when I was pregnant. And it was difficult because I got emotional and I started crying, and my daddy was basically my stronghold. He was there to rub my back, and he was there to he was just basically there to take that role. And it was so difficult because I was like, I didn't think that I'm strong enough to bring a little person into this world, and now I have to be the strong one. I'm not fully strong. I have no idea where to start, what to do. It's a human being. It's no longer you anymore. It's now you need to put yourself aside. It's about this person that you brought into this world. You need to take care of. You need to nurture and things like that. I hated being pregnant. I wanted to abort the baby. I wanted to get rid of Asher. And I was in the process of it because at the time I was not 3 months yet. And I told my daddy that I'm going to Wynberg to put in my CV here and there, which was a total lie. I was going to Victoria Hospital to make arrangements to abort the baby. And then my friend Miller came back into the picture. Like, we've been chatting. And then he was like, where have you been? What's up? What's been happening in your life? And I felt shameful. I didn't want to tell people that I'm pregnant. Because on high school, you even said it like, me, I didn't expect you all people to be pregnant, like, because, I don't know, it just, I just pictured my life totally different. And then Miller was like, what's up, what's happening? So he's like, okay, can we meet up, whatever? And this was just the day, this was the Wednesday. The Thursday morning, I was supposed to go back. And then I was going to go through the procedure. Like, I was like, ready. But a part of me wasn't ready to, because it's like killing, it's literally killing a baby. It's taking a life. And I was like, yo, God's gonna punish me. I'm not ready for that. What if people find out about that? That's even worse than having a baby, like like that. And then Mother sort of spoke with me, and I had to take an ultrasound for them to see how far along I was. And then it was like, what, 55 centimeters? You could see him. You could see the legs and the tummy and the head. Like, it was there, you could see him. And when I saw the ultrasound, I got so emotional. I was like, that is inside of me. That tiny little thing, an actual human being is inside of me. And then I showed Mother the picture, and he spoke to me. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna be here for you. Like, we weren't involved anything. It was just a friendship-based thing, But we come along on quite long. And then he's like, you know what? If you're gonna decide to abort the baby, I'm gonna be here. And if you're not, I'm still going to be here. If you need a shoulder to cry, I'm going to be here. If you need to talk, I'm going to be here. And he was just my rock at the time. And then he started talking, and I was like, how the heck am I going to give up this child now? Like, the things that he was telling me, because he had a little girl, and he was telling me at the time, you also found, because in his culture, you need to now pay, he had to pay damages, because he wasn't married to the girl. And he was like, he also felt ashamed in a sense, because He's out of wedlock, and he also has a daughter. And he said, but he was explaining that once a baby's there, everything changes. Your family's not prostitute anymore. They are loving and they love the child, and everything just basically mends.
Yeah.
And it's something to do what you said, eh? Because at the time when I was playing with my family, when I was playing with Asher, I was not on good terms with my family. But Asher is my blessing. He brought the family together. He brought us together again. I said, if it wasn't for Asher, where would my relationship have been with my family? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm jumping off the story here. And then Muller, he spoke with me, and I decided, okay, now I'm going to keep the baby. And then when my daddy found out, he was very disappointed. Very. But at the same day, he calmed down quite fast. Like he pulled himself together. And he's like, okay, it's yours. It's time. What now?
Watching a day that went through something similar that you went through, what message or advice would you like to give to them today?
I would like to let them know that the perpetrator that raped me, I didn't give him the power over my life. I wasn't gonna be sad or down. Don't get me wrong, it definitely affected me in a way, but I wasn't gonna let that determine my future or my progress in life, because the minute you fall or you are down, or you let life just pull you down, you don't get up from that incident, you give the perpetrator the strength and the power over your life, which you shouldn't. And you know what? God played a major role in this, because I had a family that was godly orientated, and they taught me that God, he's everywhere. You're not going to see him in a person. But you know what? There are so many incidences in my life that God was present and that He helped me through. With my pregnancy, He was there. When I felt sad, God was there for me. When I was in high school, I went through things. God was there for me. Like I was insecure. Oh my gosh, I was so insecure about myself. I was like, I don't have the hair. I don't have the body.
You started looking at everything.
Every single thing. I started comparing myself to other girls. And I was like, no man, God doesn't make mistakes. He made me the way I was supposed to be. If God wanted to change my nose, He would have changed my nose. But He didn't want to. That's the nose Megan needed to have.
And doesn't it real inner peace with accepting?
Yes. You know what? I used to come from school and I used to sit in the mirror, in front of the mirror, and I used to be. And I used to say, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're worth it, Exactly. And that's what uplifted my spirit. My aunt would come to my room and she'd be like, you're so weird. But not knowing the struggle that I went through, that I was insecure, And we can laugh about it now. Because if I think about it, it was quite weird. Like, what I spent like an hour in the mirror, like, you're beautiful, like, who does that, man? But now I love myself. I used to hate my hair. I used to relax it all the time because I wanted straight hair. And now I love my curls. I love my natural hair. There's so much women now that wants natural hair. And my auntie always used to tell me, Megan, you got beautiful hair. You can straighten it, you can frizz it, you can style it, you can pat it, you can do whatever you want to with your hair, And I was insecure with my body because I was not a petite kind of a girl. I always had big, And my auntie said, she was like really amazing in my life. Still is. She said, Megan, you are beautiful, you are perfect the way you are. There are people that want your body. They're going to, get implants and things like that. And when she started saying those things, I actually realized that, it's actually so true. God made me the way that I'm supposed to be. He made me perfect. God doesn't make mistakes. He does not make mistakes. And I just think that we all need to get to that realization where we need to start loving ourselves.
So where does people start? where do they start? Like, do they apply positive affirmations? Do they speak to yourself?
No, definitely. You apply positive affirmation and you need to know that you are worthy. You are more than enough. People are gonna let you down. They are gonna say, no, you are this, you are that. But you need to understand that nobody's words matter. The only person that matters is God. If God says you are worthy, who are others to say you're not? Telling you, man. See, so that's where it all started for me. That's where I got to realize, like, I'm enough. If I'm not enough for you, that's okay. I'm enough for me. And when I started realizing that I love myself, I'm good. I was good. It all went.
Everything
I'm telling you, it went well.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And consistency, it isn't easy.
No.
But you just need to get up again and get up again.
You're gonna fall a
Very
couple of
cool.
times. You're gonna fall 100 times. You need to get up 101 times. You fall, you get up. You fall, you get up. It's part of life.
For the life.
It's gonna teach you a lot of strong things. It's gonna make you very, very strong. And that's what happened to me. I had to fall. I had to lose people in my life that I cared about. I was hurt, you know. I was hurt by the ones that I loved the most, you know. And it was like I was hurt by my biological mom. Like she disappointed me, and I used to hold on to that. I was like, no, I don't forgive you. I hate you, others. And you know what? The minute I forgave her, the minute I was like, no, I'm good. I don't hate you anymore. There was a weight lifted off my shoulder. The burden was gone. Because it was like I had one foot in the door, one foot out the door. You know, so I was in between. Now that I let go of my past, then you can move forward. Because you know what, the minute you hold on to your past, you are basically blocking your blessings. If you don't forgive, you're basically blocking your blessings. So the minute you forgive, my blessings start flowing in.
Yeah.
They still are.
So before I ask my last question, where can everyone find you on social media?
Well, Facebook. I'm active on Facebook. I have an Instagram account, but not really active. Facebook, guys. Facebook.
Yeah, okay, and if you could make one change in the world, what would it be and why?
Wow. My dream, and I hope I'm still able to do this. My dream was to have a place of safety for kids, because I always see little kids on the streets and they're begging, and I was like, that's not their responsibility, because I know what it feels like to be a little child and to beg. It's not nice, and you know, people say no to you, and it's like, ugh, it's the feeling that you get when somebody says no, and you know you're struggling and you're hungry. It's not nice. I always wanted to open up my doors to kids where they know that they can come in where they are safe. They're gonna you know, they have food. They're not gonna worry about, am I gonna be hurt or am I gonna be abused or things like that. I basically want to be their safe haven. I want to be their mom in a sense, you know. If things are not okay at home, they need to know that this is where they can come. You know, I still want to do that. Clearly, I've actually seen this thing on Facebook. Hannah's place of safety, but it's kids from newborn to like 4 years old or something like that, where the parents aren't able to look after the child, or whether it is they were using alcohol, or you know, where it's kids like those, man. And I looked at that and I told my daddy, I want one of those. And not in a sense like I want it now, but I want to be able to give that little baby love, you know. There are so many kids out there that don't have that. Whether it is I'm a foster mom, they have to be in my care temporarily. I would love to do those things, to know that I'm giving back. You know, my family was that for me. Why couldn't I be that for someone else? You know, so that is one of my dreams. That is something I really, really want to be doing.
Beautiful. So guys, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. If there's one thing you guys can learn from this episode of Megan, it's that self-love and everything comes down to love. And build a relationship with God.